Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Reyan and I post videos on writing tips, book hauls and book reviews. In this video I'm going to do the rapid fire book tag. I've got all the questions here on my little notebook, so if you see me looking down you know why. Right, let's get started. Ebook or paperback? It's got to be paperback. Come on, there's something so special about having a book in your hands, looking at it, flicking through all of the pages, turning it around. It just feels a little bit more real. Whereas when you're reading the ebook, it's just not the same. I know you can flick through on the screen, but you can't beat having a proper paperback in your hands. Paperback or hardback? Again, paperback. Hardbacks are just a little bit hard, aren't they? They're so stiff. Although some of the covers are really cute, I just prefer a paperback. It's just a little bit easier to carry around and the paper's just a bit softer in my opinion. One thing I would say about paperback is the fact that the pages sometimes fray and then the front cover can get a little bit creased up, which isn't really a good look. But yeah, definitely paperback. Online or bookstore? Here's the thing, I actually don't really like shopping. Like low-key do not like shopping. That's in the store or online. I'm just not a fan. I've got to really be in the mood to buy something, and that's hardly ever. These days I do prefer to buy books online. It's just a little bit easier and a little bit quicker, and most of the time you can get free delivery, and it's quite nice when it actually arrives and you get that special parcel. You can always obviously do an unboxing video when they do actually come. Also, if you go out to a bookstore and you actually buy books, you've then got to carry them around or carry them home or carry them like on the train or whatever, so it's a little bit awkward, isn't it? But if I do go to a bookstore, I want to make a day of it. So I want to go to the bookstore, I want to pick up a couple of books, and then I actually want to then go and sit in a cafe, get like a latte or hot chocolate and actually sit and read the first few chapters. So line. Next one is series or trilogies. First of all, there's nothing wrong with writing or reading a standalone book, can I just say. Second of all, some authors will write series and they'll just drag out the story for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. I'm like, really? You could have told the same story in like 2 books or even in 1 book. So I don't know, if you're gonna write a series, you need to do it well and it's got to be executed properly, and you've got to have some decent characters. If I have to pick one out of the 2, I'd say trilogies, just because you know what you're getting. It's 3 stories. Once you get to the 3rd one, you're done, you're dusted, you move on. And I think with series, you've really got to be really invested in the story and the character and their life. And some characters are just not worth investing. Oh my God, that sounds so harsh, but yeah, trilogies it is. Heroes or villains? I'm a sucker for a happy ending, so I'm gonna go with the heroes all the time, 100%. However, there is something really endearing about there being a villain and them redeeming themselves at the end and suddenly becoming the good guy or becoming the nice person. So that's quite a sweet story to read, but I probably do prefer heroes on that one. So heroes. Next up, a book you want to read. Oh my God, how can you ask me such a question? Like, that's such a hard question. My TBR list is like this big. Actually, it's more like that big, but you know, there's so many books that I want to read. At the moment, the only one that comes to the top of my head is probably Kiss My Cupcake, and I will put it on the screen here or somewhere there. That's the one that I want to read at the moment. Recommend an underrated book. Well, shameless plug, obviously I'm going to recommend my own book, which is called Mr. Genuine. It came out in 2020 and it starts off with 2 people meeting on New Year's Eve just before midnight, and there's a lot of things that go down thereafter. So if you're interested and you want to read a sample, just check the description box below. Right, borrow or buy. Okay, this is gonna make me sound like such a book snob. I actually prefer to buy my books, and I like books to be brand new. I just like a crisp, clean book with no marks or stains or whatever, and you know, ideally no one's really touched it and it all comes in its nice and cute packaging. I have borrowed books before, but I just sometimes find with borrowed books you've got to be really careful. Like, you don't want to see a coffee stain, a foundation stain, or like a lipstick stain on a book. It's just, that's a no-no. So if anyone's borrowing books, please take care of them. Books are such precious things, like don't mess them up. I get a bit nervous about like loaning books out to other people just because you're thinking, this is my baby, this is precious, please bring it back to me in the same condition as to what I gave it to you in. So, you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking. Okay, character or plot? It's got to be character, hasn't it, really? If you've got a plot and it's rubbish, but you've got really good characters, they can really carry your story. If you've got this like really amazing and quirky plot, but then your characters are just not believable, they're boring, like they're dead, not endearing, I don't care about them, then you kind of don't have a story, and there's no, you know, characters make you feel, they make the story believable, they make that whole experience of escapism enjoyable. So if you've got rubbish characters, then God help you and God help your book. I'm sounding so harsh today. Savage, Reyan, you're savage. Long or short book. In this day and age, time is quite precious, and I'm not really one for audiobooks, so it's got to be a short book. I like a short, quick and fast read. If a book is 600, 700, 800 pages long, I'm thinking like, what on earth is in this story? Like, what are you writing? Unless I really like the author, I'm really invested in the way that they write and the books that they produce, and it's definitely something I'm gonna read, I'll go for it. But if not, I will just leave it be. Long or short chapters, come on, it's got to be a short chapter, hasn't it? Like, imagine you're in bed, right, and you're reading a book, and then you've got a really long chapter, and then you don't want to end it quarter of the way through or halfway through, because if you do, you then have to wait until you go to sleep and then wake up the next day to read the book. So there's got to be a short chapter. Also, they're a lot more easier to digest, aren't they? Right. Name the first 3 books you can think of. So number 1 is The Wedding Date by Jasmine. I just got that recently, and I'm actually going to do a video with a book haul on that one. The second one is Can You Keep a Secret by Sophie Kinsella. Absolutely love her books and love her writing style as an author. And then the third one is I Heart Hollywood by Lindsay, Kellick. Books that made you laugh and books that made you cry. A book that made me laugh is Faking It by Rebecca Chance. I got this recently as well, and this book is absolutely hilarious. So the main character in the book, she's a wife, a mother and a school teacher, but she also has a second career as an erotic author. So it's quite interesting as she tries to kind of juggle and manage her 2 lives and try and stop her friends and family from finding out what she does on the side. A book that made me cry is actually Things I Want My Daughters to Know by, I believe it was Nobel. It's quite a touching story. So the mum is, I think she's either died or she's passed away in the book, and she leaves a series of letters for her daughters, and it's letters to help them with life, letters which tell them about their family or just kind of preserves family memories, and it's such a sweet and endearing story. World or the fictional world. I mean, have you seen Our World lately? It's absolutely pants. Like, obviously at the moment of filming this video, we are currently in a global pandemic, so I'll take the fictional world any day of the week right now. I think about it, in the fictional world you can fly, you can have powers, you can turn things into frogs. I don't know why I just thought of frogs, but you know, if you want to become rich, you can become rich. You can just do whatever you want to do. You can even time travel in a book, which is fantastic. Or if you want to just go to a country, just magic yourself there. So definitely the fictional world. I would totally be up for being a fictional character. Audiobooks, yes or no? I'm 50-50 when it comes to audiobooks actually. My other half loves audiobooks and he absolutely swears by them. But personally, I don't know if they're my cup of tea. The only book that I've read all the way through, or listened to rather, all the way through on audio was Becoming by Michelle Obama, but she's an absolute queen and her story is phenomenal, so you know, and it's non-fiction. In terms of fiction, I actually prefer to hear my own internal voice reading the story to me as opposed to maybe someone else reading it to me. And I think it all comes down to the narrator's voice. If the narrator has an annoying voice, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna then want to sit and listen to the book for hours and hours on end. So I'm 50-50 when it comes to audio. Do you judge a book by its cover? Of course I judge a book by its cover. However, if I find the cover enticing, I will then turn it over and look at the blurb. If I like the blurb, then I will download a sample, normally of the ebook, on my Kindle app. And if I'm enjoying that and the story seems like it's a bit of me, then I will go on to either buy the full ebook or just to buy the paperback. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations. I haven't seen that many book to TV adaptations, so for me it's book to movie, and I think the best example that I've got is the Harry Potter series. Like, those films are absolutely amazing, from the set to the production to the acting to the overall way the story's told, phenomenal. A movie or TV show you prefer to its book. It's not something that I prefer to the book, because I haven't actually read the book as such, but it's actually Pride and Prejudice. So by watching it encouraged me to then want to read the book. I don't really read historical romance, so I think if I read the book first before, I would have struggled a little bit, so that's one. And then the last one is or standalones. I'm a big fan of standalones. I really like them. I really read that many series, and there's not that many series that I actually have taken a liking to. So one that I have is actually the I Heart series by Lindsay, Kellick, and I think it's a really great series, really, really enjoyable. So,